Hi, Mara. How are you? I'm back. I was able to come back on, I think it was like 2 days ago. I was punished for a week. I still don't even know what happened, but no big deal. It was good because it was like perfect timing. I was telling everyone, I'm like, you have to trust that there's like a bigger reason for things, because it was the same week that I was finishing up my book and releasing my book. So it was like kind of weird how the timing worked out on that. Hi, City. Hi, Dream. How are you, Dream? But I'm just gonna like be super careful. It was so funny because someone said to me before, a couple of times people would say like, why are you whispering reading comments? Well, you have to, because if you say the wrong thing, you get banned, right? But I do have the best moderators, so. Hi, Frank. How are you? I was gonna wait till tomorrow, but I figured, what the heck, I'll come on for a little bit tonight. It feels like it's been way longer though than a week. I'm good. How are you, Pete? Happy Easter to anyone that celebrates Easter. I had to fire a guy I hired to mow my lawn. He just couldn't cut it. Oh, there I go. Reading again. I'm good, user. How are you? This is like moving so fast. Hi, John. Happy Easter to you too. Heather, you can click right on my page, and it'll say, it's in the link. It's actually the first link there. There's one that says the actual book. It'll take you right to the actual book. And then there's another one that takes you to my library. But the first one is actually the book. Hi, Hebe. And give me your feedback, guys, after you read it. Oh, Taylor, that is so sweet. Oh. Can I ask what helped you, Taylor? Was it anything that you did that we could share with other people? Hi, Joe. I wanted to share something with you guys also. Aw, I love that. That's so awesome, Taylor. I always think when anybody ever says anything like that, I always say like Abraham's famous line, and it always sticks with me, is like, we're all in this together. Like, we're all here to help each other, right? That's what it's all about. Hi, Angelica. How are you? People try to like jump in on your lives and be like, what? You gotta like, you're on like a timer. So I wanted to share something with you guys. Because when it comes to manifesting, knowing that everything you want is done, right? It's all done. Creation's finished. I always like to say, like, this story is already written. That's actually what I wrote on my book. The story's already written, right? So just know that, like, every version of what you want, the best version, is already done. Everything's done. The best version of you, your best life, and you're moving towards that, just knowing that now, right? There's a path unfolding for you. And what's so important to know, at least in my experience, what has really helped me is that you don't have to do anything to get these things. You don't have to do any techniques, any methods. And I'm even saying affirmations. You can do them if you like to, but I don't do affirmations. People will say, well, affirmations are just new thoughts, but you really don't have to do affirmations. The only thing you have to do, guys, is just move at a slower pace. Quiet your mind down, right? Quiet that mind chatter, because most of it's unfavorable, right? Especially in the beginning when we're first learning this. So, you know, a lot of times when we say affirmations or we're doing something, it's actually causing so much more resistance, and all we're doing is like pushing it further away from us, these things. So the more that you can just move at a slower pace and just relax your body, breathe slower throughout your day. You know, when you're having when you're feeling good, you're feeling good. Obviously, you're just going through life. You're not even thinking twice about anything because you're feeling good. And you only need to feel good in order to experience what you want. That's it. You only have to feel good, create a feel good atmosphere. You don't have to think of the specific things that you want. Just know you're moving towards that when you're feeling good. When you're not feeling so great, when you drop in lower energies, you don't have to try to do something to get yourself out of it. That causes a lot more resistance. If anything, just try to like listen to something that, like just a noise on your phone, like try to listen to like sounds on your phone or something. Sometimes not even listening to like Abraham Hicks or a motivational speaker or something like that still causes resistance. Or when you're trying to say an affirmation, even if it's general, may still cause resistance. Sometimes it's best to just shut the brain off as much as you can. So that's just something I wanted to share. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. So sometimes, like, I don't want to listen to anything at all. Like, I don't even want to listen to Abraham. So I'll just listen to, I just posted in, we have a private Facebook for anyone that's new on here. We have a private Facebook group. It's very helpful. Tons of information on there. The fan noise that I love, I shared that with you guys. It really helps with sleep too. Hi, Jason. Because sometimes I have problems falling asleep, but that fan noise and I put a headphone in my ear, it always puts me right to sleep. And the secret to listening to any type of I say fan noise because I love the fan noise. I've tried all different kinds, but I always go back to the fan. The secret to it is to constantly redirect your focus back to the noise. Bye, Pete. Have a great night. I'm back. I know, happy. Aw, I love that money. How are you, Jason? I'm scrolling back up. That's why I'm seeing you guys. I guess so, Christopher. I never know what to. A manifesting teacher, manifestation teacher. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Leaving this really gets you in a state of peace. Yes, Hebe. The power of quieting your mind. I mean, I can't even explain to you guys the power of calmness. We don't understand how much, and I try not to get too, I try to stay somewhat realistic and not lose people too much by saying everything's literally like an illusion, like we created all this with our thoughts, to take away from this experience, because it really is an experience and you're supposed to be enjoying this experience. But some of these things that we created unconsciously just feel so heavy, and they feel so real, and they feel so permanent, but they're really not. And the power of quieting your mind, the power of calmness, the power of moving at a slower pace will literally get rid of them. In a nice way, saying it in a nice way. Hi, Marianne. Did I say that right? Or is it Maria Anna? Marie Anna. Yeah, how do you pronounce your name? Do I usually call you Anna? I feel like I usually call you Anna. Do you always have your name written out like that? A happiness guru. You know, it's so funny, Eve. I do think I'm a very positive person. I'm always picking myself up again if I'm ever in a lower energy, but I consider myself actually more of a calm person more than a high vibe person, right? I consider myself to be just more calm. I'm very just very chill, very calm. But I like the happiness guru. That's good. Hi, Ava. Happy Easter. How are you? It's funny because we have a private Facebook group, so I don't feel like I've been really gone that long because we kept in touch. Most of us kept in touch on there. I think the power of quieting your mind, and the power of calmness and breathing slow, and that's like where all your power comes from. The power in stillness. I know, I'm so happy to be back, Ava. I kept debating on if I was going to jump on here because it's Easter, in my mind. And I don't even celebrate it like that. It was just a regular day for us. Like, I just cooked dinner, right? But BB, I feel like they kind of link together too, like being positive and calm, because when you quiet your mind, your energy automatically raises, right? Like it automatically raises. That's why I love teaching people about calmness and breathing slower and quieting your mind and meditation and breath work. And you can meditate throughout your day. It doesn't have to be like a ritual or anything. You can just decide you're going to just listen to, that's why I like Christmas music, because I don't really listen to the lyrics. I just like the energy of the Christmas music. So, I'll just listen to that while I'm doing things around the house. But if I ever find myself dropping, I will go right to just a noise or something like that to distract me from thoughts altogether. Because remember, our thoughts are creating, and a lot of them are unfavorable from our unconscious creation. So the more that you can just quiet those thoughts down, the others, you're letting all the stuff that you want in automatically. It's automatic and very effortlessly. Yes, BB. And that's what I got mostly from my own experience, the power of stillness and quietness and calmness, because obviously everyone knows how much I love Abraham Hicks, but she doesn't really talk too much about that. She's more about just do whatever you can do to feel good, which she is right. Like, you get to choose, like, you think of the emotional scale and all the emotions, and what you get to choose in every moment, how you want to feel. But sometimes it's easier said than done, truthfully. And that's what I've learned through this. It's easier said than done to just pick a positive thought or get yourself out of that, quick. Sometimes it takes us down. We get sucked in with those negative energies, those lower energies, those crappy thoughts from our past, right? So for me, just calming down has literally changed my life, honestly. It's Dream. I can truthfully, honestly say, when it comes to action, and it's based on where you are at with your limitations and thinking that you still need to take action. So you may do it because you feel the need to, but I can tell you right now, there is absolutely no action involved when you're aligned with your true self, because you are doing what you truly love to do. You may sometimes be a little bit nervous. You may sense some anxiety when this change is happening, but it's very short-lived, because you step into it and then you're in your full power, right? Because you're like, oh my gosh, this feels so right. This feels so good. But there's no action that will ever feel like effort when you're aligned with your true self. You'll never feel like you're being forced to do something. You're going to love it when you're doing it, right? So when it comes to, like, I'm going to connect it to my books and stuff like that, and writing my ebooks and doing all the work, then getting them out there, it was 100% effortless, guys. And I mean this, like, truthfully mean this. I didn't struggle anywhere with this. I would look things up, and let me just tell you, nothing cost me a dime that I did. Going from Canva, using Canva to write my ebooks, to uploading them up into a library. I looked up, like, YouTube videos that I resonated with, and step for step follow the instructions. It was effortless. And I'm not someone that, like, if it doesn't catch me, or if I don't get it, or if it confuses me at all, I give up. I'm like, nope, this is not meant for me. So trust me when I say, when you're aligned with your true self, there's no action involved. Again, there may be some anxiety at times, because this is like a new version of you, but you'll see soon when you start something, like, you're like, oh my gosh, this is so me. Like, it's going to feel so good and it's going to feel so right. Hopefully that makes sense. So you mean move altogether, Dream? Like, moving in general? Or move to a state, like, are you talking states in your mind? Did I, Ava? That's why I always say, guys, like, don't ever get upset when you're in a lower energy. Just remain calm. And remember that it's serving a purpose. It's serving a purpose. It's like when you're in a lower energy, don't ever feel like you have to fight to feel good. That's like, never do that, because you're just causing yourself more resistance. That's like when you're hearing you have to persist in something or do affirmations or do something like that. I'm trying to keep checking for your question, Dream. Oh, to move to a whole new state with your kids. Oh. Yeah, so basically, when it comes to that, Dream, if you're already in the motion to doing that and you're already in the process, just keep staying calm, knowing it's all working in your favor. Everything will fall into place perfectly. I remember when I was learning this information and moving into an apartment, like that was like my first time ever doing any of this. And I just trusted the process. Like I wasn't one to ever do any of the paperwork or any of that. And I was doing it all by myself for the first time. But it went so smooth. I had such good interactions with everybody. So Dream, just trust the process, stay calm as much as you can, and it'll literally all fall into place perfectly. Hi, Superior. I'm scrolling up now to see if I missed anyone. How are you? Do you something take a bit longer to get to a higher energy depending on So Link, I would tell you, I seen that you said I didn't answer any of your questions, but I was just chatting. Do you meditate, Link, or even breath work? Meditation and breath work is a good start to start quieting your mind. Do you take a bit longer to get to a higher energy depending on the situation? So I don't try to get myself to a higher energy or any of that loop. I just try to stay in a flow as much as possible. So I'm never trying to be super happy all the time. Like that to me feels like effort. I'm trying to be myself as much as possible, right? So it's more so for me just being able to flow through life and just be able to take it one step at a time no matter where I'm at. And when I'm feeling good, I'm feeling good, right? Like when I'm doing these lives, I'm in a really high energy, very natural. This is very like fun for me, natural for me. So I just get into that like higher energy. So when I'm talking about this kind of stuff, or maybe when I am, I'm trying to think like stuff that like puts me in a higher energy. But it's just like I always tell you guys, like I always check in with how I feel. So I'll say like, what do I want to do right now? Do I want to clean my house, or do I want to take a walk? Do I want to ride to the food store right now? Do I want to make dinner, or don't I want to, or maybe I don't want to make dinner today? So I'm always like checking in with what feels best in the moment. What's going to what's going to give me the least resistance in the moment? Does that kind of make sense, Luke? So Link, if you're new to this kind of information and you're interested in quieting your mind, I would recommend starting like a meditation practice and maybe some breath work. And I have tons of videos. If you check out in my content up top, there's a playlist with all kinds of information, breath work, meditation. I have a really good video on quieting the mind. So, all right, I'm behind now. Sorry guys if I missed any questions. They're coming in so fast today. Hi Lacey, how are you? Yes, live it. That's basically what it comes down to. It's getting yourself in the present moment as much as possible. That's why I always say, you don't have to keep asking for what you want. You don't got to affirm for what you want. You don't got to persist in what you want, because it's already done. It's already done, and it's unfolding in this very moment. You're just doing whatever you can do to feel good, literally. And that doesn't mean, at moments you're not going to be in lower energies. You are, because you're human and we do drop from time to time. But the more you do these practices of moving at a slower pace, breathing slower, the more you do that, the less you experience the big separation, that contrast that we experience. So the more you do these practices of remaining calm, moving slower, when you won't dip so low anymore, right? It takes practice, but you won't get to those points where you're just like crying all day and you're just so upset and you're like, this ain't working. You trust the process more because your life starts to change as well. I'm sorry. Anna, I feel like I missed your question here because I see you said or affirm. Oh, did you dream with the kids? I remember my kids used to do that. I'm just scrolling up here, guys, see if I missed anything. Thanks for the likes, guys. Oh, Angelica, I love hearing that. It's so powerful. Yeah, dream, that's it. It's just about like just trusting the process and staying calm. It's all working out. I always tell people, like, guys, like, do these practices of staying calm like everywhere you go. Like, if you're someone who gets anxiety, like in the food store, I'm scrolling up and I'm talking at the same time, seeing if I missed any questions. Okay. Like if you're someone who gets anxiety in the food store, oh, that's a great place to start to practice moving slow, breathing slow, centering. It's basically centering yourself, settling yourself into the present moment. If you are in line and you are waiting for a while, I don't ever wait in line anymore. I'm telling you right now, my food shopping experience is nothing like it used to be. I don't wait in line. There's never anybody there. The people that are there, I'm like friends with every single one of them. I have the best interactions. I'm like, hey, how are you? Like we talk. It's like I know these people. It's completely changed. Are you a lady that does? I don't do readings now. Yeah, that's exactly what it is, Cynthia. You're drawing my portrait. I'm dying. That's so funny. What movies do you... I don't watch any movies, JM. I don't watch any TV. So I'm to the point where I like literally think to myself, like the other day I was just telling my daughter, I'm like, I want to watch a movie. Like I haven't watched a movie in so long, but I don't know what to watch. I stay away from a lot of stuff. I'm so picky about what enters my mind. Like, so I watch like funny stuff with my daughter. We watch Modern Family and Practical Jokers. I know I say this, it's literally all I watch. But I'm so picky about what I entertain and what I put into my mind. So I don't really watch movies or anything. And my kids are older, so they kind of do their own thing, right? So like I listen to Abraham Hicks a lot. And I am always posting on TikToks, and I'm a mom, so I'm obviously doing things with my kids and running them around places, but yeah, so like it's about what is it? Secret Life of Wolf. That sounds so familiar. That sounds really familiar. Yeah, it's true. Loop, everything that I talk about, what you're doing and how I explain it, Loop, is that you are focusing on yourself. When it comes to manifesting, it's knowing that whatever you want is done, no matter what it is at all, no matter what, it's all the same. And it's you focusing on yourself and feeling good without it, basically. It's not detaching from it. You're always going to want your manifestation. It's not going to like ever just leave your mind, but it's focusing more on yourself and feeling good on your own in your everyday life. And it's so much easier than that. So self-concept to me is, I think it's affirming, right? So I don't do affirmations for anything, so that's why I think I don't connect with that. I'm not saying I think it's good, and I'm sure it's great for people. It has helped a lot of people, but that's not how I explain manifesting. I explain it as every possible reality exists. Everything's already done right now. It's all done. Every possible reality is like I always say, the story's already written. Creation is finished. You only have to have that desire, and then that's it. You're moving towards it in that very moment. And from there, the only thing you have to do, and I mean only, is feel the best you can in each moment. Making the best of what you have now is really important. Someone asked me a question today on money and said, how do I manifest not feeling any resistance around money? I get afraid, or I get what did she say? I'm using the wrong words, but she says, I get nervous when I have to spend money, or I feel guilty. That's what she said. And I said, it's the same thing with anything that I talk about. You need to make the best of what you have. You have to be okay with what you have in order to bring in more. And that's so easy, because you don't have to do it in regards of that, even that specific topic. You can just make the best of, like, I'm just going to make the best of my room. I'm going to clean it every day. I'm going to make it a nice atmosphere for myself. I'm going to take care of me. I'm going to take care of myself. Every day I'm going to get ready, and I'm going to, do my hair, and I'm going to wear something that I feel good in and confident in. Like, that's what you're doing. You're making the best of what you have. That is what brings in more. That's why I say you're only creating a feel-good atmosphere within you. How do you do that? Anything. What makes you feel good? I like to do my hair. I like to do my makeup. I like to go to the store and buy nail polish. Like, literally, like, I'm talking about anything, guys. Like, and it's going to lead you to other things. Like, it led me to writing. I didn't really ask to be a writer. It just kind of led me to that, right? So just trust in the process. Trust that, it's already done. Everything is done. That's why you want to be open to the ways, like in regards to money. I don't manifest money. Like, I'm not manifesting $1,000, $10,000. I'm manifesting, we're unlimited. I would never manifest a specific amount because we're unlimited, right? So you want to manifest experiences. You want to manifest, being open to the ways that money can come into your life, not just one specific way, right? No problem, Lou. Yes, Nathan. Hi, Nathan. How are you? So that's what, people talk about gratitude all the time. Push your Facebook group. What do you mean, BB? Push it. What do you mean by push your Facebook group? How to stop high and cold behavior with SP. So, Car, it's because you're still reactive. You're still reacting. So basically, you have to, when it comes to a relationship, Car, you have to not focus on it. Okay, you have to focus on you, 100% you. You have to get to a place where you feel good without it. You have to stop looking for things to change in your outer world. That's what a lot of people are doing. You're trying to control a situation outside of you. The only thing you can control is how you're reacting to things. Oh, okay. Yeah, BB, I know. I don't talk about my private Facebook group, guys. If anybody needs extra guidance on any of these topics, manifesting, join our private Facebook group. It's very helpful. You can ask any questions on there. I'll answer your questions. And, it's just very uplifting and supportive. Does that make sense, Car? I don't want to not say your name right. So no. You shouldn't be noticing that. You should care less if he doesn't talk to you because you're too busy. You're too busy being you, living your life every day. You're fulfilled. You have to fill your own cup up. You can't expect someone else to do that for you. You have to be fulfilled on your own. You have to be whole on your own. You can't expect someone to do that for you, or you're going to constantly be triggered. That's not a healthy relationship, right? You want a healthy relationship. You know that healthy relationship exists, and you're moving towards that in this very moment. So you need to feel good without it, basically. So right in my link, Mansta, am I saying that right? In my link, you can go down. I think it's the third one down that says Create Your Best Life private Facebook group. So you can, right in my links there. Oh, and manifesting bestie, you too. Focus on it when we work together and I see every day. People say that. How do I not focus on it if I have to see it every day? That's the thing. You need to be okay in your current reality. You have to practice non-reaction now, right? Every single day you should be practicing that in every scenario in your life. In regards to anything. Bring the focus back onto you. Bring the focus back onto you all the time. And practice that. So if you're like I always say, like if something's coming up in front of your face, or if it's whether it's a thought in your mind or it's in front of your face, it doesn't make a difference. Reacting is reacting, right? So you just want to get calm in those moments. Calm yourself down, breathe slower, center yourself again, bring that energy back to yourself. Remind yourself that everything's unfolding perfectly. Everything's fine. Everything's unfolding perfectly. Yes. Yeah. Make the best of what you have, and don't be so quick to think that something that may not feel like it's happening in your favor isn't happening in your favor. I'm a perfect example of that with my TikTok. Many things have happened to me. The more you realize that everything's literally working in your favor, give it a minute. Always give something a minute, guys. Like when something feels like it's falling apart, take a step back and say, no, everything's working in my favor. I know this is working in my favor. Watch and see how you're like, wow, this is actually the best thing that could have happened to me. Always, and that means in regards to what you want, because it's done. It's not saying that you're going in a different direction of your manifestation. It's not. It's leading you to it. But always take that step back, and when you think something's falling apart, it's not. It's not. Trust me. It's actually leading you to what you want. Give it a minute. Give it a day. And watch and see. You'll be like, oh my gosh, this literally was the best thing that could have ever happened to me. Yes, give everything good meaning. Because it literally, it is all working in your favor. That's not me just saying that. Like, but if you fall apart and you just stay like upset about in that moment that it's bad and horrible, you're not going to give it the time that it needs for you to see that this is working in my favor, right? Yes. Like that's something that I've become really aware of, that like it's okay, there's a bigger picture to these things. We can't see that bigger picture. We're not supposed to see that bigger picture, right? We're supposed to just trust. This is a journey of trusting in the unknown, right? You're not supposed to know the unfolding of it. You're not supposed to get involved in the unfolding of it. You're supposed to focus on yourself and just trust. And the more you can do that, the more you will realize that, you know, that's where like the action comes into play, that things are just kind of flowing and it's just happening. It's just the next best step. It feels very natural. How are you, Nathan? I feel like I didn't really say hi. What if, I don't know what that means. But you don't want to kid yourself either. Hell. I told myself I'm not going to read these comments out loud because they're going to get me in trouble. You know, someone just said, what's my story? I actually do have videos about my story and how this started for me. It feels like so long ago that this all happened, like this all started for me. But for me, it was like just moving from job to job, feeling so stuck in my life, like asking questions like, this is life, like this can't be it, like this is it. We go to work every day, you're exhausted, you come home and you have to cook and clean and do all this stuff. So to me, it just felt like very repetitive Even here's the best part about this story, and this is why I tell you guys, like, you can't just go from person to person, from job to job, because you're literally taking yourself with you. You have to stop and do this and do this work, right? Because otherwise you're just taking yourself with you. You have to practice non-reaction. Because I was going from job to job, but I was still unhappy. Nothing was changing in my life. It was still repetitive. I could have moved to different places. I kept trying to change things in my current reality, and nothing was making me feel better. Nothing. Because I wasn't changing within. So it's an inner job. It really isn't. Everything's all within. So until I started meditating and, obviously researching this information, but for me, it all started with meditation, without a doubt. That opened me up to everything. And practicing non-reaction, definitely practicing non-reaction. Oh, that's awesome, Gemini. Yeah, so for me, like, meditation, I don't talk about it as much as I probably should, because it's very natural for me to meditate. Like, I'll do it throughout my day. I'll just sit there, put on some like headphones, some sound, and I'll just like zone out for a little bit. But it's so helpful. But you can also do it like throughout your day by just being calm, or while you're driving, just calm your mind, right? You can do it like in other areas of your life too, not just like before you go to sleep or when you wake up. I prefer I like just very simple meditation, to where I just put on headphones and I listen to a fan noise, and that's it. That's my meditation practice. That's all I do. I'll do it before I go to bed. It also helps if you have trouble sleeping, listening to like a fan noise or something like that. And for me, this is meditation. This is me meditating. I know some people will say just observe your thoughts. That's never how I meditate it. I meditate it by constantly redirecting my focus back onto the fan noise when my thoughts would start to go. So I would start, the thinking would go, thinking, and I would keep redirecting my focus back to the noise. That's how I meditate. Everyone has their own way of doing it, but I always really like to keep redirect. That's why I like breathing, like slowing down my breath and focusing on my breathing, because you're putting your focus onto your breath right in that moment. I don't see things or anything like that. I had one meditation one time where I felt like I was like seeing like pixels and stuff like that, and it was like staticky, and my body was just completely like electric. It's the best way I can explain it, but it only happened to me one time, and that's it. I never had any type of crazy meditation stories or anything like that. Yes, Nathan, white noise is good. And I also like rain sounds, but I go to all these different types of sounds, and I always go back to my fan noise, like the one that I started with to begin with. And I just love it. It's like so soothing. It's so simple. It's just one sound, and it just like, I don't know, it's just very soothing. I don't like if there's too much noise. I like it to be just like, I think that's why Nathan said white noise. That's really good. There's another one that's supposed to be I think it's white noise. Is it white noise? That's kind of like the new thing. I do like rain in general. Like, I enjoy listening to like the rain, like on a rainy day. I saw lately on TikTok how to connect with the source easily during meditation. Oh, did you, Ava? I agree with you, Jonathan. I do. I actually definitely feeling good, feeling the best you can. I like to say, the pressure of having to always feel good, because it's very natural. Like, the thing is when you're feeling good, you're just feeling good. You're not thinking about it. You're not overthinking it. You're just in a flow, right? It's really when you drop in those lower energies that's what catches our attention. Oh my gosh, I'm dropping again. Whether you're thinking about something that's not serving you in that moment, or you're just feeling in a lower energy. So that's why I focus on that with people. is when you are in those lower energies, the only thing you need to do is just breathe slower, relax into that discomfort. You can try to do something to get yourself out of it, and sometimes that works. But for me, it's always been take a step back first, though. Always take a step back, no matter what. Don't jump to something right away. Take a step back, quiet your mind for a little bit. The best thing you can do for yourself in that moment is to honestly try to stop thinking. Try to stop thinking. That's why meditation's so helpful, because it'll be easier for you to do that in those moments. If you're not thinking of anything in that moment, then you'll be able to just take a step back, and you'll probably get yourself out of it way quicker. It's a lot of times we're just in our thoughts in those moments, and that's why we're dropping in a lower energy, something that doesn't serve us. Oh, thanks, Scotty. So that's why I said, oh, thank you. I hope you had a great Easter too. Oh, that's awesome, Ava. Yeah, so you find what works for you. So everybody always asks about my, someone, I think, who was it? Someone asked about my breath work and where, like, oh, the stomach pumping and why that helps. And that really helps. That helps settle you down. Like when you're in a spiral, it just helps regulate your nervous system, basically. Doing, like, I always say, take a deep breath in, hold that breath in through your nose. That's something I actually learned more recently. I used to always do it through my nose because I did my breath work technique while I was at work. So I would do it while I was working. We wore a mask, so I kind of could hide it. But it was just, it was easier to hide it by doing it with breathing through my nose. But breathe through your nose, hold your breath for as long as you can, and then you do the stomach in and out until you can't hold your breath anymore. And the key is to really let that breath out super slow, and that really relaxes you in that moment. And breath work, not only does it calm you down, but if you continue doing breath work, guys, you will get such a high from breath work. Like, I'm talking, like, you will be like running around trying to figure out, oh, what can I do? What can I do? Like, you get this extra burst of energy if you consistently do breath work. It gives you like a high. Oh, thanks for the compliment. Yeah, it's like a rush, right, Gemini? I used to do it. I was to the extreme where I used to actually like hang my head off of the bed a little bit to get all the blood to go all the way to my head. To me, it was like, I don't know, my third eye. I don't really get into any of that stuff or too much, but to get it to go all the way to the top of my head. So I would do the breathwork technique while my head was hanging off. I was so extra. And I did that for a while, and that always just helped me start my day. That was, again, while I was working and trying to like really understand all this information. I was just skimming. Off topic question here. I know, Nathan, I kept going back and forth today on if I should. I was like, should I take a ride to get one? Like, I was thinking, I already had cooked dinner and cleaned everything up, and I'm like, I could totally go for one right now, but then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna wait to get my refresher tomorrow. Sometimes I like to skip a day because then it's like so much better. Like when I skip a day and have it like, I usually get one every day. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go tomorrow because I have to do some food shopping tomorrow too. So I will definitely be getting one tomorrow. Oh, thank you. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, like the hurt sounds. Like anything that works for you, anything that relaxes you, anything that helps you feel at peace or feel good, or like that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're feeling good in that moment, or feeling the best you can in that moment. Why do you think breath work is so helpful? It's like a portal or something. Yeah, Ava. I mean, I'm not even going to pretend, Ava, that I haven't used breath work to manifest things, to bring them in so much quicker, because it's like, it's such a powerful energy when you're doing it. Obviously, they were very short-lived and temporary manifestations, but it's just so helpful. I think it's really helpful when you're trying to practice non-reaction. Regulating, you always see it's the same thing as regulating your nervous system, being in control of your emotions. I think it's really helpful in those moments, right? When you're in those spirals, or when you're dropping in those lower energies, when you're panicking, when you're having anxiety. Breath work is so helpful, because I don't use breath work anymore. I don't want to say I don't need it anymore, but I really don't need it anymore. Occasionally I'll do it just because, like, sometimes it wakes me up. Like if I'm sleepy, I'll do it to wake me up. It'll actually wake me up. So I use it for different reasons now than before. Before it was because I was having panic attacks in work and I needed to calm myself down, or I was going to cry in front of everybody. What are you saying with this? How do you stop thinking about... So are you saying, because... I'm confused by your question. How do we persist without thinking about the amount of time that has been dedicated to manifesting? I don't really understand that question too much. Why were they... Because they weren't like true desires. They weren't true desires. It was like I manifested little silly jobs and stuff, and money, like my money things. Like I would manifest just money, but it would never stay. Nothing would ever hold. I wasn't at a place where I was like at steady with my energy. I wasn't in control yet. I kept losing things. I wasn't able to keep things, or it wasn't really a true desire, if that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. And that's again why I talk about it's always going to come back to feeling good, because those things are more like, I need something to make me feel better, right? I need this money to make me feel better. I need to just get by. I need this for this. So a lot of things, like before you start really making it about feeling, because otherwise everything's going to bring you back to feeling good. Because why do you want these things? You want these things to feel good, right? So you really want to practice feeling good now in your everyday life. Because you're going to get these things, I'm telling you, because it's done and it's leading you to it. Not only is it going to lead you to these things in the best way possible, but it's going to keep leading you to more and more and more when you can practice feeling good now in your everyday life. Using everything up in your current reality to the best of your ability. And practicing non-reaction when you don't feel good, to get rid of all those unconscious things that you created, before you knew this. And you just stay calm, and those things will fade out of your life very, very gracefully. Not, feeling like we have to fight for ourselves and be defensive and all that. Let these things just flow out of your life so all the new stuff can flow into your life. They are frustrated and losing motivation because it's... Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't teach manifesting... I don't want to say your name wrong, Novem, in that way where you have to persist in a manifestation. That's not what I teach or talk about at all. If anything, I tell people not to do that, because there's so much resistance in that. And it's also very temporary when you get these manifestations doing it that way. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. You only have to know that what you want is done. Whatever you're manifesting, whatever you want, it's done in this very moment. And what you're doing from there is focusing on yourself, feeling good. I say feeling good without it, because you want to bring all that attention and focus onto you and feel good in your everyday life. Make the best of what you have now. And when you're not feeling so great, you just remain calm. You remain calm, you relax into that resistance, you relax into that negative emotion, those lower energies, those thoughts. We can even call them unfavorable thoughts, because that's all they really are. Relax into them and then just let them pass through you. And when you feel better, that's you moving forward. So it truly all comes down to just feeling the best you can in each moment. It's feeling good now. That's it. That's all you need to do. You need to feel good now. In every moment you need to practice that. And again, when you're not feeling so great, that's okay. You just remain calm and you breathe slower and you relax into that and you rest into that. You try to quiet your thoughts in that moment, and you'll get an impulse to do something to help you feel better. You'll get, you'll oh, let me go do this. Let me go take a walk. Let me take a nap. You'll have an inspired impulse to do something when you quiet your mind, when you rest your body. Sometimes it might just be to rest that day, just to rest that day. I'm just going to rest. I'm not feeling so great today. I'm in these lower energies. I'm just going to relax today and meditate, quiet my mind, and take some baths and just relax. So sometimes that's what you have to do. That's the best thing you can do that day. And that's okay, because you're going to get a relief. And I promise you, when you start to feel better, you're going to get a high. And not only that, how I explained it in my Facebook group, private Facebook group page, was that it's almost like, I don't like to say you're being rewarded, but it's almost like you are. When you can just stay calm in those moments and just relax into that resistance for as long as it takes, you almost get like this next big step that's leading you to what you want. I can't explain it, but that's how it's always been for me. By just remaining as calm as I can and relaxing into that resistance and just being kind to myself and others in those days when I'm not feeling so great, and just moving at a slow pace as much as possible, I get this burst of energy after it leaves my body, and I get this, I call it like a revelation, like, oh my gosh, I can see something so much clearer now. So that's how it's been for me. So be aware of that, and you start realizing that. You start realizing that too. You start becoming more aware of that just remaining calm and kind to yourself on those days and kind to others in those moments. Because we're so reactive that even when we're not feeling so great, we get mad at everybody else, or we get frustrated, or we get upset. We take it out on other people. So you just think to yourself, calm and kind, right? In those moments. I'm sorry. Thank God, you guys are the best for answering people's questions, because sometimes I miss them and I'm yapping. What if I have two contradictory desires? So if you're unsure about a manifestation, or if you have any type of split energy where you're like up and down with something, then take a step back and just meditate on it, and you'll get clear. You'll get clarity. You'll get clarity. You can even just say, I need clarity on this, and just trust that. Just make it about feeling the best you can in each moment. Go right back to that and you'll get clarity. Never take action on something if you're not sure about it, right? So that's where resistance comes into play, having that split energy and not being sure, or you're wavering, and that causes discomfort. Wavering causes a lot of discomfort when you have that split energy and you're going back and forth, and basically it all comes down to dropping in those lower energies. It's like I always say, there's only two states you can be in. You either feel good, which is you on your path, or you don't feel good. And it's not like you're not on your path when you don't feel good, but you're slowing it down. You're just slowing it down. So you just get calm and you relax, and then you're back. You're back on your path again. You're back on. You're moving faster again. Can we have a 360, please? All right, when you focus on yourself. Oh, you manifest the best life, not when you. Yes, Ava, you say it. Because remember, guys, these are, like, I always try to say, like, I don't like to, this is all just an experience for us to have, right? So you're having your own experience. These manifestations are, they're part of your experience, but you're the one. Like, it's all about you. It's your story. So when it comes to that, past princess, well, first of all, you're not supposed to be manifesting anything. So if you're losing hope, what are you losing hope in? Because you're not manifesting anything, right? Because it's already done. I'm sweating. So the answer to that is it's done anyway. So there's nothing you have to do. So you're losing hope in what? What are you losing hope in? All you're doing is feeling the best you can in each moment. And when you don't, you just remain calm. That's it. Because remember, everything's already done. But you have to understand that you create your own reality through your thoughts. A lot of people they forget that you're the creator. You are the creator. So whenever anyone's unsure or they're not understanding that their thoughts create reality and they're second guessing things, I always say go back to my playlists and really Creation is Finished is a really good one. And just scroll through those because it's just going to remind you that you are the creator. You create your reality. Your thoughts are creating your reality. And it'll just remind you again that it's all you. I feel like you manifest it and you get it and you really overexcite just feels. Yeah, so Jay, it's not that certain things aren't going to excite you because things will you will have moments of I did this, right? I am doing this. I can see my life changing for the best. And it will bring excitement to you, but it's not going to seem so far-fetched as a year ago as it would have. As if the person a year ago looking at me doing this now, I could never see me doing this or talking like this or even, doing what I do at all now. So it's almost but this feels normal to me. So yes, but I do stop and say to myself, wow, yeah, I do still have moments of excitement that I've done this, right? But it does feel more normal. Like I said, looking back, the version of me a year ago would never be able to even fathom me doing what I'm doing now. So that's what I always try to say. Everything's going to unfold very naturally. Let this unfold naturally. The more you can just focus on feeling good in your current reality and, just enjoying what you do have, even though it might not be a lot of money. Your house may not be your dream home. You may not have everything you want right now. You make the best out of those things. I was telling someone when it comes to money, you gotta she's like, I feel guilty spending a lot of money. I said, well, don't spend it then. That's resistance. You have to know that what you want is done and there's a path unfolding in this very moment that's leading you to more abundance. That's leading you to, remember, you're unlimited. There's enough money for everyone to live the most amazing life here, right? Unlimited, infinite. So you just have to be okay with where you're at now. You have to practice feeling good now. And how you do that is you don't buy that thing. You don't spend that money. You take $3 and you go buy something that will bring you joy in that moment. I always say, buy yourself a drink that you love. Buy yourself makeup that you love. Buy yourself something little that you love. You don't have to even do anything in regards to money. You can just say, I'm not going to spend any money and I'm just going to enjoy what I have in my home right now, in my room, with the things that I do have. Use up what you do have. Like I said, the only thing you're doing is creating a feel-good atmosphere within, using up everything you have now, because now you know this. Now you know this information. You know you're unlimited. You know you're here to live an amazing life. You know you're supposed to feel good. And you're being led to that in each moment. You're being led to that. It's unfolding. A path is being laid out for you in this very moment. So this is going to take care of everything. When you're working with resistance and you're making it about non-reaction and feeling the best you can in each moment, you're not just going to manifest this one thing that you want, guys. You're going to manifest so many things, pretty much everything, your best life. And you'll start to see that. So when intrusive thoughts they're just unfavorable thoughts. The only thing you need to do in those moments is just remain calm. Whenever you're having negative thoughts, unfavorable thoughts in that moment, you just want to really slow everything down. Relax into that. Breathe into that. Breathe slower. Tell yourself everything's working, everything's unfolding perfectly. Just breathe slower, move slower. You really want to try to quiet those thoughts down as much as possible. It may be uncomfortable. You may not feel so great in those moments, but you just want to relax into it as much as possible. Move slower, breathe slower. Don't speak to anybody about those thoughts. Keep them to yourself. If you have to cry, cry. I always say, look at those intrusive thoughts as a friend or a family member or a child that's coming to you and saying, I'm so sad. Why is this happening to me? What are you going to do in that moment? You're going to uplift them. You're going to tell them, you got this. You're going to be like, no, you got this. You're amazing. You're going to build them up. That's what you're doing to yourself in those moments when you're dropping in those lower energies. You're telling yourself, no, you got this. You're amazing. You're amazing. And you just you hug yourself in those moments. You hug yourself. Because sometimes we just want to hug. Right? Phone's going to die. And I don't think I have anything to charge it. So I might have to jump off. Yes, Neil. So look at it like that. I have my one ebook talks about limiting beliefs, and that's pretty much every page. Every page is a way to handle these intrusive thoughts, these lower energies. And one of them is, how would you speak to your friend? How would you speak to your child if they were in those moments? You're going to build them up. You're going to tell them they got this. You're going to be the best motivator in that moment when they feel that way. And that's how you're going to be with yourself. And like I said, sometimes we just need a hug. Can I tell you how many times I would be crying and I'd be by myself, in my closet, and I'd be like, I just need a hug. That's it. I know I'm always moving forward, no matter what, no matter how I'm feeling. Right? I know in those moments that I'm just having a moment and it's going to be fine. And I just move slower. I breathe slower, do some breath work. If I have to cry, I cry. I always used to say, I would be joking. I'd say, you know what? I just want to be a victim right now. I need to be a victim right now. But I would be laughing as I'd be doing it. I'd be laughing as I'm crying, right? Because I know this is only temporary. I know I'm moving forward to everything that I want, right? And it just gets easier and easier and easier. And these moments happen less and less and less. And you're going to see that. You're going to see that it's very far between that you do have these moments. But it doesn't mean that if you have them, your life could be changing. And because guess what, guys? You're always going to be expanding. So you're always going to be wanting more. You're always going to be becoming more. So it doesn't, and it's a little scary. You're moving into these bigger things, and sometimes you don't know why you feel this way. It could be because you're doing something new. You're doing something different, right? So you're cutting through limiting beliefs, and you don't have to figure it out. You don't have to try to wonder why you're feeling this way. That's the best part about this. You just have to stay calm and just be kind to yourself in those moments. And, just let it pass, and it'll pass, and you'll feel better. So I don't believe, Bim, I don't believe that you have to be anything. I just believe that you're kind of slowly, gracefully moving towards that. So I think when people say you have to be the version that has it, or that causes a lot of resistance. Well, how do I be something? How do I be that, right? Just trust the process. It's going to unfold very naturally. And that's what I can say. The way that things unfolded for me were very natural. I didn't have to force anything or say I'm not going to talk to these people anymore, and I'm cutting this person out of my life, and I'm cutting that person out of my life. I didn't have to do any of that. Everything just fell off naturally. So when you just trust the process, it will all be very natural. because I think when people start getting into that stuff where you have to be a version or be this or be that, or how do I live in the end, and that causes a lot of resistance, and you don't have to do any of that. That's a lot of old school teachings to me. You don't have to do you don't have to figure anything out. You don't have to try to be something you're not. You don't have to act delusional. You don't have to do any of that, because everything's going to unfold very naturally. Don't think you have to be delusional to live an amazing life. That's what you're here for. You're here to live an amazing life. No problem, Bim. All right, I'm going to jump off, guys. My phone's going to die in a minute. But again, you guys can jump in our private Facebook group if you need extra guidance. You just click on the link there and you can scroll down. I'm the third one down. And are you going to be on? Hi Tony, how are you? A Facebook Live? Maybe I'll do another Facebook Live again. I think I had like 9 people, but I think if I planned it better, maybe I could get more people in on the Facebook Live that I did. But everybody have a really good night, and I'll be back on tomorrow. Nice seeing you guys. Have a really good night. Thanks again for my moderators for helping me. Bye. Happy Easter too.